Hello everyone, I'm Nick and welcome back to Fantasy Food Show. We've gone savory today with this Totoro Turkey Meatloaf. Let me show you how it's done. To make the meatloaf, you will need 1, 2, 3 pounds of ground turkey, a large mixing bowl, breadcrumbs, salt, black pepper, thyme, garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, 2 eggs, Worcestershire sauce, milk, rainbow carrots, condensed cream of mushroom soup, and some black food coloring. And as always, all of the quantities will be listed on the website fantasyfoodshow.com. Start by dumping the ground turkey into the mixing bowl, crack in the eggs, and then add in all of the spices. Sprinkle in the breadcrumbs, and then add a little milk to moisten them. Finally, add a few splashes of Worcestershire sauce. Then mix it all together with your hands. Try not to overwork the meat, just mix until everything is evenly combined. Place the turkey mixture onto a large baking tray that's been lined with foil, and then shape the meat into Totoro's body. You're basically looking for a large, wide pear shape. Then bake in the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour. While that's baking, you can make the mashed potatoes for Totoro's belly. Peel some Yukon Gold potatoes and place into a saucepan of water. Bring these to a boil and cook until tender. This really depends on the size of your potatoes, so just keep checking them, but about 20 to 30 minutes. They should be fork tender when they're ready. Drain off the water, and then mash them with a hand masher or an electric mixer. Add in lots of butter, milk, and a generous amount of salt to taste. Then cover and keep warm for later. Once Totoro is cooked, remove him from the oven and transfer him to a cooling rack on top of a baking sheet. My Totoro meatloaf is out of the oven and he's cooling a bit. And now it's time to make his features, his ears, eyes, nose, and whiskers. I printed out a big picture of Totoro, about the size of my meatloaf, just for reference. And I'm going to make those features out of carrots. So out of the white carrot here, I'm going to make his eyes. And just with a sharp knife, I'm going to cut some coin-size circles. You can make the eyes even wider by using a little white gel food coloring and brushing it on with a clean paintbrush. You don't have to do this, but I wanted to get my Totoro as close to the picture as possible. Then use a little black gel food coloring for the pupils. To make the ears, cut off about a 3-inch section of carrot and then make 1/4-inch slices with a paring knife. You can see I nearly took off my fingers here, so if you have a mandolin, use that, it'll make it easier and less terrifying. Follow your picture of Totoro for the shape, and you can etch the outline of the ears with a wooden skewer, and then use the paring knife to cut them out. To make his whiskers, cut 6 long, thin strips of purple carrot. If you can't find these rainbow carrots, just use regular carrot, and you can always dye it with some black gel food coloring later. In a medium saucepan, add the condensed cream of mushroom soup, and half of the milk that's required. Whisk it together and heat it up over medium heat. Once the soup is warmed and a pourable consistency, turn off the heat and add a tiny amount of black food coloring. I just used 1 drop of the gel paste, and then mix together. It's time to prepare your Totoro. Cut small slits on the top of his head and push the 2 carrot ears into place. Then pour the gray soup all over the meatloaf. Spread it out with a spatula and make sure to cover the ears. Definitely will have some leftover soup, but we want to make sure that the whole body gets covered. The tray underneath will help catch some of the runoff. For Totoro's belly, place the mashed potatoes into a piping bag or a large Ziploc bag and cut off one of the corners. Pipe a large, generous circle of potato and smooth it out with a knife or an offset spatula. Transfer the meatloaf onto your serving dish and finish off the belly by adding the little dark patches. Use something long and round to make the indents where you want his dark fur patches to be, and then fill them in with some more mushroom soup. I found it easier to put the soup in a squeeze bottle. I just felt I had more control over it. Add in the whiskers by making some small holes on the side of his face and inserting the long carrot sticks. Try to push in the top whisker on each side a bit more so it's shorter than the bottom 2. Finally, add on the eyes and a small triangle of purple carrot for the nose. And there it is, my Totoro Turkey Meatloaf. Invite your neighbors over, it's time to eat. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this recipe, check it out on our website, fantasyfoodshow.com. To finish off our Totoro, I made some little dust sprite biscuits, and the way I did that was just to take some store-bought biscuits, the ones you find in a can, made them a little smaller with a round cookie cutter, and then dip them into some black sesame seeds before baking. And for the finishing touch, I added a single spinach leaf on top of Totoro's head. Make sure you check out our Patreon campaign. I'll leave the link to that in the description box below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.